You've probably been setting your tire pressure to whatever number is printed on that little sticker in your door jamb. Most people have, but that number isn't the whole story. And getting it wrong can quietly wreck your tires and your gas mileage. Let me walk you through what happened to me. The tire disaster. I bought a set of premium all-season tires rated for 60,000 miles. I checked the pressure every month, kept it at exactly 32 PSI, the number on the door, a sticker, and rotated the tires every 5,000 miles, by the book. At 18,000 miles they were done. The outer edges were bowled down to the wear bars. The centers still had plenty of tread. A tire shop tech asked what pressure I was running. When I said 32 PSI like the door says, he just shook his head. What the door sticker actually means. Here's the part nobody tells you. That door sticker number isn't the optimal pressure. It's the minimum pressure engineers calculated to safely handle your car's maximum. Rated load, full seats, a loaded trunk, sustained highway speed. It's a worst-case scenario number, and for most cars it lands somewhere in the 30-35 PSI range. But most of the time your car isn't anywhere near that loaded. It's just you, maybe a passenger, some groceries. Run the max load pressure in a lightly loaded car, and the tire doesn't hold its proper shape. The center of the tread lifts slightly. The sidewalls flex more than they should, and the outer edges end up carrying the load and wearing out fast. That's exactly what killed my tires. So what pressure should you actually run? That depends on the tire, not the car. Every tire has a maximum pressure molded into the sidewall. Something like max. Press 51 PSI, a good rule of thumb. Your optimal wear and efficiency. Pressure usually sits about 10-15% below that max. For most passenger tires, that works out to roughly 38-42 PSI. To be clear on terms, overinflated means exceeding the number on the tire's sidewall, not the door sticker. Running 40 PSI in a tire rated for 51 isn't overinflated, and it's within spec and, for a lot of everyday driving, closer to ideal. What changed when I fixed it? On my replacement set, I bumped pressure from 32 to 40 PSI and tracked everything for 35,000 miles, wear even across the full width of the tread, on pace for 70,000 plus miles. Fuel economy, up from 26.4 to 28.1 mpg, about a 6.4% improvement. Annual savings, roughly $130 in fuel plus another $150 from extended tire life, call it $280-300 a year. Handling, noticeably tighter turn-in and less body roll, with only a slightly firmer ride on rough pavement. Important caveats before you touch your tires. Never exceed the max pressure stamped on the tire's sidewall. That's a real limit, not a suggestion. Load it up with passengers or cargo. Move closer to the door sticker number or a bit above. More weight needs more air. Always check pressure cold, first thing in the morning, before the tires heat up from driving. Performance and staggered fit tires are usually already dialed in, small adjustments only. Cold weather drops pressure, roughly 1 PSI for every 10 degree, so check more often as seasons change. The TPMS light won't save you. Your dashboard warning light isn't a maintenance tool, it's an emergency alert. It typically doesn't trigger until pressure falls about 25% below the recommended number. If your door sticker says 32 PSI, you might not see a warning until you're down to 24 PSI, which is already dangerously low. By then, you've been running underinflated for weeks. Check manually monthly with a real digital gauge, as the free pencil style ones at gas stations aren't reliable. Finding your number. A simple way to dial it in. Start with the door sticker number and add 6 PSI. Drive a few weeks, then inspect the tread. Wearing faster in the center. Drop 2 PSI, wearing faster on the edges. Add 2 PSI. Most people land somewhere between 36 and 42 PSI. Track your MPG along the way too. It almost always improves with a bit more air. If this helped, drop a thumbs up. Share it with someone who needs it. And subscribe for more practical car repair tips. Thanks for watching. You've got this. See you next time.